The family tree was heaven's blueprint. There's one final layer to this conversation that we haven't fully named yet, and it's the one that matters most. The family is not just a cultural arrangement. It's not just biology or tradition or even social necessity. The family is a spiritual structure, a divine blueprint, a mirror of heaven written into the flesh of humanity. The father, the mother, and the child are not interchangeable parts. They are archetypes, reflections of God's own nature, embedded into human life so that we would never forget where we came from or what we're here to do. The world has taught us to see family as optional, flexible, a lifestyle choice, something you construct to your preference. But long before modern society began defining relationships by convenience, the family was established as something sacred. Father, mother, child, that wasn't just a biological unit. It was a spiritual diagram, a representation of the Creator, the Spirit, and the manifestation. In Christian theology, this shows up as God the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. In Hebrew structure, the father passed down the law, the mother guarded the spirit of the home, and the child was the continuation of divine instruction through lineage. This trinity wasn't religious dogma. It was sacred architecture. And it existed in the home, not the church. The home was the first sanctuary. When you dismantle that design, you're not just changing families. You're breaking the mirror that reflected heaven into the earthly realm. That's why this war on the family is so intense. It's not political. It's theological. The enemy doesn't need to destroy your faith. He only needs to remove the structure that was meant to teach you what faith looked like. And for most of human history, that structure was the family. A father represents more than provision. He is a stand-in for the divine authority that speaks truth into chaos. The father carries the vibration of structure, discipline, strength, and law. When he blesses his children, he's not just passing down encouragement. He's placing spiritual order into their identity. When a father is missing, it's not just an emotional hole. It's a spiritual fracture, a missing transmission of the divine masculine into the next generation. Likewise, the mother isn't just the nurturer. She is the embodiment of spirit. She encodes emotional language. She shields the unseen. She senses what's out of order and brings harmony. Her energy teaches intuition, compassion, and trust. When she speaks into her child's life, she is building the inner world they will live in for decades to come. A motherless child doesn't just lack affection. They lack spiritual encoding. They lose access to the divine feminine that stabilizes the inner atmosphere of the soul. Together, the father and mother don't just raise a child. They raise a reflection of the Creator. The child is not just a human being. They are a manifestation of union, a living product of heaven's original formula. Polarity plus love equals creation. That formula exists everywhere, from biology to theology. And the family was the vessel meant to protect and replicate it. When we remove the family, we don't just produce broken homes. We produce a world without structure, where the image of God is erased from daily life. And when that image is gone, identity becomes fractured. Children no longer know who they are, not just because of absent parents, but because the spiritual pattern that was supposed to reveal them has disappeared. And in its absence, they reach for everything else to define them: gender labels, digital personas, artificial connection, state validation. You cannot form a true identity without first being mirrored by the sacred. And for most of us, that mirror was meant to be a spiritually aligned family. The world mocks that now. It calls the family oppressive, outdated, patriarchal. But what it's really mocking is the image of heaven on earth. Because when the family is destroyed, God becomes harder to see. And when God becomes invisible, the state becomes the authority. The algorithm becomes the parent. The school becomes the prophet. The child becomes the experiment. This is not a theory. This is already happening. Children today are being raised without prayer, without covenant, without moral grounding, without elders, without origin. Their homes are tech hubs. Their caregivers are overstimulated. Their belief systems are outsourced to cultural trends. And their sense of belonging is now transactional. Love is measured by how easy you are to tolerate. Identity is measured by how easily you conform. The soul becomes a variable, a data set, a body with no home. But that wasn't the design. The design was always covenant, not contract, not performance, not preference. A covenant between mother and father, between parents and children, between the family and God. A holy agreement to be mirrors for each other, to reflect heaven in the way we speak, love, serve, and instruct. This covenant wasn't just protection for the child. It was protection for the world, a safeguard against chaos, confusion, and fragmentation. And now that it's gone, what do we see? Confusion has become virtue. Disconnection has become normal. Identity is shattered into infinite options. And the soul, once carried through family, now floats in culture with no anchor. This is the result of breaking heaven's pattern. But it's not irreversible. If we remember that the family was never our idea, we can stop trying to reinvent it and start restoring it. Not to tradition for its own sake, but to sacred design. Fatherhood that reflects divine law. Motherhood that reflects divine nurture. Children who are raised not just to succeed, but to carry the image of God into a broken world. This is not about being religious. This is about recognizing that structure is spiritual. That when we remove the pattern, we lose the power. That when we forsake the divine blueprint, we build in sand. And the storm is already here. The family tree wasn't a social invention. It was heaven's map. It showed us how to be whole, how to belong, how to become. And if we destroy the tree, we destroy the roots of the soul. This is dissolving the family structure. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum Humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital Afterlife. Where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection Science. Reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal Science. The end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity Science. Gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies. Engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs. Birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing. Printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era. The rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans. The slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities. Algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies. Citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans. Emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning. Your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech. Intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.